Hello, my name is Hector Alfaro. I'm from UTCH BIS. I'm from the group BIS 31M. I'm going to show you the system of a company. Could be any company, yeah? So there we go. First, we have the inputs. The inputs are the raw material, yeah, are the things that you need to create your product. Those things or those materials are from your supplier. So first you have to ask to to your supplier uh, the that material. But before that, you need the order, and the order um, to where is going to be. Well, for the client. So the client have to ask you uh, your product, and then you have to obtain the orders, and therefore you have to ask the material that you need. Could be, I don't know, glasses or wood. I don't know. Yeah, it's raw material. So you have to have that material to make to create your product. All right. So in the inputs, you need raw material, orders, clients, and suppliers. First, you have the clients, then the orders, um, besides suppliers, and finally the raw material that you need to um, to create your product. In my opinion, the inputs are the most important in a system, because if you don't have the inputs, you are not going to be able to create your product. So it's something easy to understand. Well, it's something easy to understand. Sorry, um, because if you don't have the first step to a system, to have a system, that is the input, then the whip, and the last is the output. If you don't have the inputs, you are not going to be able to follow the second step, that is the whip, the working process. And also, you are not going to be able to follow the last step, that are the outputs. So in this little example of any company, we have the meeting with the client. The client asks you the products that they need. Then you make and you say yes, right? Like any company side. You make an agreement. Then you have to talk with your supplier and ask for the material that you need. This material could be metal, could be wood, also tires, and why not glasses? Yeah, those are examples, because some people think that the inputs are only raw material, like nature material, like wood, like metal, I don't know, water. mm, but not exactly, because the inputs, for some companies, are the outputs of other companies. So only imagine, if you have, for example, Ford, yeah, some companies create the tires, those are the outputs of those companies. But what are the inputs of the Ford? The tires, and not only the tires, yeah, the chassis or the glasses, but in this example are the tires. So for the first companies, the outputs of those companies are the tires, but for the Ford are their inputs, yeah. So the inputs are basically the things that you need to create your product, yeah. Not only the raw material, the natural materials are the main things that you need to create your product, all right. Then we have uh, the outputs, that are the last step for to have a system. But before the outputs are the whip, yeah, it's the whip, the working process. So after the inputs we have the working process, that are the steps that we need to have our outputs. The companies could be industrial companies. For example, they need to work um, their raw material to create, to have their outputs. So for example, in a simple way, in a industrial company, the raw material is a cube, a metal cube, yeah. You have the metal cube, so you have the operators. The operators um, are going to cut the material, also milling and drilling, all right. Then you have your product, but that product have to pass a test of quality. So you have quality people, yeah, that test the product. Then the quality people have to send the information to the manager. The manager have to give that information to his or her um, big boss, all right. So those are the steps. Are many steps in a company to obtain the outputs. When the product pass the tests, uh, the follow the next step are the outputs, and we have here the outputs. The outputs are the goods, so are the products, the final products. Then we have the money, the success, recognition, and the deliveries that we need to make. Alright? The outputs. So you have your final products. Then you have to deliver that products to your customers. When the customers receive the products, they are going to give you the money. Then you obtain that success to make or to make your product in the best way that you can do it, alright. But your customer feel good with your product, so your customer said to other people that you work well, and they are going to ask you your products, alright. So that is the recognition. The companies want the companies want that recognition because they can obtain more clients. All right. So the important in a system is the inputs and outputs. If with the web, if they work together like a theme, they the companies are going to have that recognition. That if they have recognition, they are going to have orders from other customers, and they are going to have more inputs, more web, more outputs, and that is a cycle. Yeah. So here we have our example. We have the engineers. Yeah, they are designing a piece. Then that design is is going to become in a program. That program you have to introduce in a machine. That machine work your raw material and make the the final product, yeah, with the measures and the requirements that the customer said you. Then when you have the final product, you have um, you have your outputs. Yeah. So it's something easy. The inputs are the things that you have to work, and the outputs are the things that you worked. All right. So it's something easy because the two things are important, inputs and outputs. But in my opinion, the inputs are more important because if you don't have the inputs, you are not going to have the outputs. All right. So thank you for watching the video. um, I hope that I explain me in the best way. So see you.